I don't know if I want to because I'm just
All
don't
right.
feel like I'm playing well.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of Esports Podcast. I'm your host, William, and with me today I have Brian,
Hello.
and we're here to talk about the two playing games, or the two playing series that finished today, and that would be Team Liquid versus PvB and Flash Force versus Vega Squadron. And first, we had Team Liquid versus PvP, and the first game was actually I thought it was a little shaky by Team Liquid. It wasn't like out of control by any means necessarily, but around the 16-minute mark is where I want to bring up where they got aced for an ocean dragon, and this was giving me flashbacks to Worlds last year where Team Liquid was like going way too aggressive for the dragons and dying for it, and like that I was like, what are they doing right now? Because before this, honestly, it was 2-1, 2-2, 3-2 Flash Wolves, 4-3, 5-3, or 5-3. So it wasn't like anything crazy, but then like them getting aced for the ocean, they still got 3 kills on the backside of it as well, but they still got aces. So it was still like a 15-8 at that point or something like that, and I was just like, man, or 10, sorry, 10-8. I'm just like, this doesn't seem right. Like something's a little bit shaky here. But then eventually they got a pick instantly on Null and Pallet around the bot, like round right here. I believe it was here and here. Yep, right. Those two, Null and Pallet, got caught, and then they died immediately. Took the Baron and took complete control of the game. They just simply, they kind of got outplayed a little bit towards the beginning, like mechanically wise, but just when it came to team fighting and stuff, it's just like an NA with Team Liquid, where they're just really good at it.
Yeah. Also, they're playing against a team who has been playing recently
Mhm.
competitively, and they've just been watching, and I'm sure they're scrimming, but
No, not at all.
being on, yeah, no scrims, but yeah, but I think it's just jitters. You're at an international tournament, first game,
Home crowd against you.
home crowd, everyone cheering against you, even the other regions.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, yeah, that's a good point as well.
yeah,
Uh, Game number two was a little bit better for Team Liquid. It still was a little bit of a fight at the beginning, but the fight at the beginning kind of ended quicker this time. There was no ace at an Ocean Drake per se, which
yeah.
I did want to bring up impact on the gangplank. This man does not die on Gangplank when he gets tower dove. It is insane. He had, I believe, Pallet, Big Kuro, no, Pallet, how do I say the jungler's name?
Meliodas,
Meliodas? I,
Meliodas, whatever, something.
Meliodas, something like that. And Zeros. They, all three of them, tower down, tower dove impact, and then he flashed over the pallet's stun. He like did a little sidestep to dodge the Jarvan swag flag, and then he oranged the Aurelia stun, and it was just like he just dodged all of that while they were just tanking tower like crazy. Got down to like 10% HP, had and then just like Xmithy and Jensen were able to just come up and clean up and got 3 kills there. It was just like so good. It was just, I think it
Yeah,
was around right here. Yeah, I think this was the moment. So it was like all those kills. I guess it was only 2 kills, but yeah, it was still amazing. He's so good at
yeah.
dodging. He's
It's
he,
good to well, he is a world champion,
yeah.
but it is good to see him not playing tanks and them not reverting back.
Hmm.
They hear the people going, "Oh, tanks are viable now." They're not like immediately throwing them on him, and I know they said that they're going to have impact on carries,
Yeah.
so it's good to see him performing on them,
And
even if it's
Xerath is
against
no
Longboot.
slosh. Yeah, or slouch,
Yeah,
not slosh.
yeah.
He's
He's not a
definitely
slosh either.
he's not. He's definitely up there for really good top laners. I wouldn't say he's obviously good compared to the main stage, but he's definitely, I would say, probably the second best top laner coming out of the minor regions. Which the top lane, the best one, is no longer in the minor regions, Brian.
I know. There's some breaking news that Ruin from 1907 Fenerbahce is now joining CLG. Darshan is gone, which it's weird to say because he's been such a staple for so long, but it's I'm okay with it. I'm okay with the change.
Yeah, Ruin looked phenomenal at MSI. Like when I saw that news, and I remember the rumor was just like 2, 3 days ago, and then all of a sudden, just like instantly, like now he's officially on the team. I'm like, oh man, they,
Guess it's not a rumor.
yeah. NA actually looks pretty strong in the top lane, which is nice. Like if you think about it, outside of Dokla, we really don't have many terrible top laners at the moment.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a good win by Team Liquid. Doublelift looked much better on the Kaisa over his Lucian. His Lucian looked kind of weak. Jensen played a good Akali in the first game, played an excellent Silas this game. And Team Liquid won this game from the beginning because Rek'Sai was facing Jarvan, and that's just how the world works.
Yeah, I mean, you don't pick Rek'Sai or you don't pick Jarvan into Rek'Sai, even though Meliodas didn't play bad.
He did it. Yep. It just you can't get the win. You just can't win. It's a curse. I think I've only seen one Jarvan win. Like off the top of my head, I can only think of one time it happened. I don't remember what the game. I just remember it happened.
I can't even remember it happening.
I think it might have been in the LPL, but it was like it's
well,
like,
I know
it's like
I know
1 in
Crumbs
20.
Yeah, Crumbs was always saying it was like 1 in 11 or whatever
Yeah.
in NA. So
Yeah, it's like
it happened.
It from my own personal experience watching, it's like 1 in 20 from what I can remember. Might
Not
be
great.
more. Might be more than 20 losses. It's not a good matchup.
Yeah.
Finally, game number 3. Team Liquid actually picked the Taric, and to counter it, PvB actually picked Sona this game. It's the first time we've seen this where they've separated the lanes. And I thought it's not the best idea, in my opinion, and it turned out to not be the best idea. I just don't feel like Sona is very strong by herself, especially for pro play. Maybe for solo queue, yes, but not for pro play. And yeah, Tristana was able to abuse her extra range there and get a lot of damage on the Sona right away. You have the Hecarim in the jungle, which I think is an excellent pair with Taric because he gets a stun on his Stampede.
Yeah. It's pretty good. I think definitely it's a great strategy by Team Liquid because if they don't pick the Sona, you get Sona Taric.
Yeah.
If they pick the Sona, they have Sona.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
works out great.
That's why it's always you got to pick Taric no matter what because Taric it can work in pro play without the Sona. Sona cannot work in pro play without the Taric. And then we had Impact also on the Silas, and he actually had a pretty good game, I thought too. Like it was kind of bad to see that Silas wasn't getting banned by anyone on PvE or PvP. They got beat by pretty bad in 2 of the games, so like I thought that maybe they would have banned it, but they didn't. And it was a good 3-0.
I'm not gonna be mad about it. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good 3-0.
I'm glad NA had a good showing.
Yes.
At least as in a 3-0, they didn't take it or lose a game.
Yeah, they got better over time as well. They got better with each game as well, which I thought was very important.
Yeah, that is good.
And I don't think PvE or PvB is a slouch of an opponent at all. I honestly think spoiler alert, they're probably going to make it to the group stages. And I think they are the best non-major region team that we've had in a while. At least outside of Gigabyte Marines. Outside of Gigabyte Marines.
Well, that was with Levi when Levi was able to communicate with his team. So
2 years now, Levi not being able to communicate. First in English and now in Chinese.
Which is so weird. I mean, I get he's a great player and his talent. Maybe he's being developed into an amazing player by going to NA, getting some like knowledge there, and then going to China, getting more knowledge. But like, I want him to go back to Vietnam, honestly, if he's not going to be able to play.
I know.
I just want to see him play.
He almost made it to MSI. JDG almost made it, but he wasn't the starter.
That's my team, yeah.
The next series was Flash Force versus Vegas Squadron, and Vegas.
That's not my team, by the way. Just wanted to put that in
there. Vegas Squadron actually came out like pretty cheesy with the Karthus and Vayne switch up at the last second, with having everyone assuming Vayne was going bot lane and Karthus going mid lane. But actually they had Karthus going ADC at first because Gadget does play Karthus and that's what everyone thought. But then they last picked the Vayne and everyone's like, oh wait, so this is actually Vayne. And well, it was Karthus bot lane. And it worked out pretty well. Boss actually popped off a lot on the Aatrox as well up top. Anonystic on the Sejuani had a good game, 0-2, but you know it was a good lot of support, a lot of
still
assists.
a 5.0 KDA, so not too bad.
And Boogie looked kind of scared. I thought he was making a lot of mistakes early on, And I think even in his interview, he said that he was nervous, and I was like, "Oh, I can I can totally tell that." Betty looked fine in my opinion. He won 1-6. Like it's just one of those games, that the rest of your team kind of lost out, rather lost the lane. Hanabi never got going on the gangplank, and then just like kind of went snowballed from there.
Hmm.
It was a very good win by Vegas Squadron.
And they have the Karthus, just the late game
Yeah,
insurance, and you
with
still do
Vayne
have
late game.
a Vayne. Yeah.
Yeah, it was very good. Game 2, though, was a complete smash for Flash Wolves. Betty looked disgustingly good on the Ezreal, as he has pretty much all season in the LMS. Like I said, I know Hanabi was the MVP of the LMS this year, but I think Betty is probably one of the best players. Like, I remember on the broadcast, I brought it up to Brian, that they said that Betty is like one of the best ADCs from LMS. I'm like, Betty's one of the best ADCs in the world. Like, from what he did last year at MSI and just has consistently done on Flash Wolves, he always kind of got overshadowed a bit by, rightfully so, by Sword Art and Maple. They were really good players as well. They're
And
both
Karsa.
yeah, and Karsa. Well, that was like 2 years ago. But yeah, I'm talking even. But yes, you're right. Karsa, Maple, and Sword Art, which this team was made of before. But now that they're gone, it's just him and Hanabi left. Like, they're both obviously Hanabi won player of the split for LMS, but Betty as well. I think he's a top 10 ADC in the world. Honestly, like I don't get why he gets flamed so much for being bad. He takes over games, especially on games like Ezreal, especially picks like Ezreal. He never gives a bad. I won't say he necessarily. Okay, I'm gonna retract that. He takes over games. He doesn't necessarily take over games as much as he just doesn't ever lose his lane. Kind of like
Yeah.
I'm thinking like Sneaky almost doesn't like he doesn't Sneaky doesn't carry as much as other ADCs, but he's never doing terrible.
Well, Sneaky's team fighting is where I think he
Yeah,
shines. So
exactly. I
yeah,
think it's the same with Betty.
yeah. I think the just looking at the match histories, like the Nico. I was struggling to find a name. Nico ADC. I know it's good, but it just seems like all the utility it brings and the Zillion with it is kind of countered by the Tom Kench because you get your stun, you got your bombs lined up to stun him again, and Tom Kench eats them. And if you hit him because he's Ezreal,
Yeah, they played very
and
safe.
yeah, it was a super safe bot lane against a really feast or famine, I'd say, bot lane, and it was a famine. So
And I mean, Nico is also, I think they said, Gadget's most played champion this split.
really,
Yeah, one of them at
wow,
least. He actually played quite a bit, and he plays a lot of off-meta stuff, as you can tell from this series, with the
yeah.
Karthus ADC, the Nico ADC, and then eventually Morgana ADC. Spoiler alert. But yeah, he did not look very good. This is one of the points I brought up last podcast where I said that they would actually get beat pretty bad in the bot lane for as good as Gadget and Santos had been looking before during the play-in stage. I just thought Betty was just a whole class of his own over them. And Hanabi is against Boss as well. Boss did not have a good Hecarim game at 1-4. Game number 3. Yeah. This is what I was talking about. Gadget played a normal ADC of Varus and went 0-7 with 0 assists. Another
Wow, that's pretty
huge
telling about
blowout.
his playstyle. Maybe he needs to just switch to mid lane.
Yeah. Yeah, it was not a good game. Betty's also one of his two best champions are Kaisa and Ezreal.
Also, just look at that Nautilus 3-1 and 15.
Yeah.
I just got gold and just have to throw it out there because it's the first time I've ever been gold. I'm not a silver Reddit analyst anymore. I'm a gold Reddit analyst.
Yeah.
And it was carried a lot by the Nautilus buffs. Just the damage is nice, but Nautilus's CC is unreal. And in a bot lane, it can be so
especially
oppressive.
with the Kaisa too, with the CC
Oh,
blocks
yeah.
are massive. We should do that.
Oh,
Why
yeah.
don't we do that?
Yeah, maybe we can.
I'm just thinking about that. Why don't we play that? But yeah, this is a very clean game overall by Flash Wolves. Quite a blowout on all phases. They also are still playing Zinzao in LMS, and they've showed it again in here. It works pretty well in the Rek'Sai. It works definitely better than Jarvan in the Rek'Sai.
Yeah.
And then final game, Flash Wolves also blew out. All 3 games after the first game were kind of blowouts, where Betty went 4-5 this time against the Morgana, which did better, obviously. But yeah, this was all Hanabi on the rise. He showed why he was the LMS MVP in this game. 9-1-5 is disgusting.
Yeah, that's pretty tough to take down,
Yeah.
especially with the Seraphs and his shield.
Bet he did more damage though. but
Yeah. Hey, he's got a not AoE, but his Q travels through people, so
yeah.
Hanabi has to spread a spell flux.
Which then it then travels
Not
through
fair,
people.
not fair.
But yeah, it was just a huge blowout. Boogie looked fantastic as at the first game. Rather played pretty decent as well. I still think Rather is one of the weaker leagues on the team. The mid laner, formerly mid laner of Griffin, and then got replaced by Chovy. And
Oh,
now he's
I didn't
on
know that. That's interesting.
Flash Wolves. So
Well, good for him.
yeah, and he's hey, he's at MSI and Chovy is not. But yeah, those are the games. Now Vegas Squadron versus PvB will be the final game of the play-ins. The winner will move on. And Brian, why don't you start first? Because I kind of already spoiled my pick.
You spoiled your pick.
Yeah.
For Vega and PvB, I mean, it's the home crowd. You want PvB to win. I just don't think that Vega can get it done with their ADC going 0-7 on a traditional ADC. And now you've showed that if the Karthus is picked, it's most likely going to go bot lane. And if it doesn't, you still just have a Karthus mid, and you can pick a mid laner that maybe can deal with a Karthus, and then your bot lane just pick safe. Like, I don't know. I think that Big Koro will take over the games. Melio Diaz is great, so I'm gonna go PvB 3-1. I think Vega's gonna pull some crazy stunt out and take a game, but I don't think it's gonna get them 3 wins.
Yep, that is the exact same analysis I would give. I think that PvB is going to win 3-1 because I think Vega will try and pull up something off their sleeve, and it'll work, I think. And it usually does in best of fives, kind of like that. People don't prepare for certain weird strats like that. But yeah, I think that Big Koro has been playing phenomenal this tournament. He honestly went toe to toe with Doublelift and like kind of succeeded a little bit. Now I wouldn't say like won the lane against him too much, but they definitely were not like getting blown out or anything like that. Like they were definitely getting some kills in that lane for 2 of those. For 2, the Sona game they didn't do much, but
That's more of a preventative
yeah,
pick anyway,
yeah.
and we knew it wasn't going to work.
Yeah, the first two games, so they were going toe to toe, and Big Coro's just been playing phenomenal all tourney so far. To be fair, he's even outperforming
The biggest
Zeros, I would
Koro.
say. Like Zeros has struggled. Zeros been hot and cold. I'd say he's had some really good performances, but he's had some really bad performances as well. Well, Big Coro's been pretty consistently good all tournament. So I think with the home crowd, PvB, who I think came through the much tougher group and is the much better team, and I think Vega Squadron is a good team. I would probably put them as, I would say they're the 3rd best team coming out of play-ins. I would say that 1907 might be better than them, but
You don't think Bombers could handle him?
I think it'd be close between them and the Bombers. I think that it'd be between like 3rd and 4th, and then I'd put Detonation Focus Me 5th. Personally.
Yeah, Detonation Focus Me was pretty big disappointment for me.
For you, but I would say arguably for Japan that's not a bad performance by them. 4-2.
No, it's not a bad performance by any means. But they were in the weaker group and couldn't get it done.
Yeah.
So I was expecting a little more.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Vega is good. I've never heard of them before. Granted, I don't pay attention to the CIS, but
I had
they. Yeah, crazy, right?
Yeah.
No, but I kind of feel like they got 2-0'd by Vega in the groups, so I don't see they don't deserve to be there. I was upset with that.
Yeah, at least they didn't deserve to be there more so than they deserved it more than Mega and Ents.
Yeah, but I mean, you said Mega was a challenger level team, and I had no expectations. They exceeded my expectations.
Yeah. I didn't. They were a huge question mark for me because of like I said, they were
No,
playing
I
challenger
know.
level
Yeah.
teams in the field, but they were like they only lost one game all season, not even a series, just a game. So I was just thinking like, man, maybe they're not bad, but I mean they weren't terrible, but they definitely weren't good. They were below average in my opinion. Did take a game off
Yeah.
Vega, but that game didn't really count.
Yeah.
But yeah, so those are our predictions, though. And that's it for the podcast. I guess we'll do a quick 20-minute one.
Yeah,
Nice,
it's not too bad.
not bad, and we were almost on time. Almost. I found match history, and that was the most exciting thing of the day. I finally found it. It took like 4 links down on Google to get to like a certain Wikipedia. It had match history if you just hovered through something. It was very difficult to find. I'm excited. But that's our podcast. Thank you guys for coming to watch. We'll see you guys tomorrow to discuss PvB and Vega Squadron if it goes like we have it. And so far, I especially Brian, you had a 72%. You weren't here yesterday. You had a 72% pick rate in the first games. I had an 80%. That's really good.
Yeah, it's not bad.
And then we both had 3-1 Liquid, and then I had 3-1 Flash Wolves. That was correct, but 3-1 Liquid was pretty close. So
What did I say for? I
you
said 3-1 Flash.
No, you said 3-2 Vega Squadron.
Oh, I did say Vega.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. But oops. All good. All good. But yeah, thank you guys for coming to watch it. We'll see you tomorrow to discuss the winner of this one and then some of the group stage. I'm excited to talk about that. Or the play-in.
Yeah.
No, group. Yes. Group was right the first time. Thank you. See ya.
Bye.